Namato Ratana Tayassa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also, my respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening once again. Today is Saturday 18th of April 2020. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, and every night at 6:30, I come online to meet with you all, in a way delivering some dhammas to you at home, being friend with you at home. Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well and also practicing meditation. And this is the time that I would say we come together and practice together, spending time together. Although not physically but mentally, we are together practicing and being connected. Before I go on to the part 2 of what Buddhism has to offer during this crisis or pandemic, coronavirus is spreading, I would like to read out a summary from one of the listeners sent a post saying that a few years he was either fighting or walk away from his emotional thoughts, different emotional thoughts. But after been listening talks and practicing meditation, he was able to freeze himself or just being in a neutral position. Having said that, it doesn't mean that he had never those flight or fight modes, but do have those. But however, this time he was able to deal with that. I'm very happy to him to hear that he is able to cope with his emotional thoughts, different emotional thoughts that coming and disturbing. Similarly, some of the previous meditation guidance, one or two members also texted me saying that those are very helpful, particularly the 7-part body scan practice. So keep practicing, and during this every night when I come to meet with you all, if you can't come at 6:30, you can come and meet 7:30 to practice meditation together. But if possible, spare some time for this 1.5 hour a day for yourself. In the meantime, you can post questions or anything regarding worries, you may text too. Right, so last night I spoke that along with this coronavirus, although we are concerned of this spread and rapid spreading this, and the number of deaths daily increasing, we have a fear of it and we concern about it. There is a depression, stress, and all the sort of negative emotions are there. But when we look at deeper into it, the situation, we can see that what are the oncoming other troubles, other problems, economical troubles, social troubles, job loss, company loss, and so and so. And in relation to that, what Buddhism offers is that if we all could practice, at least of a soundly practicing 5 precepts, will build harmony in the society. And that brings unity within ourselves and unity in connection with one another. When we have this mutual understanding and mutual unity within one another, there will be less crimes, less trouble, and we become an actor as well as a nectar to build up this harmony, creating the safetiness, creating a trustful nature. And with that, what happens is we are content what we have at the moment, and also allowing other people to be contented in what they have. So with this, we're simply creating a harmonious society by simply observing or soundly being mindful of these 5 precepts, not harming any beings, not taking what is not given, and having no sexual misconduct, not lying or having truthful speeches, and not taking what clouds our mind. And this needs to be completely understood, and only then the future oncoming, or which is at the verge, we can feel it, that it is lurking in those crimes. I heard a news in Thailand. Few people broke into the shop simply to steal some rice. And when they were asked why, were saying that at least police will catch them and put them into prison, and they will have food to eat. And similarly in India and in Nepal, hundreds of people displaced, no job to eat, and with that, some they have to walk for hundreds of kilometers to go back home without food, without money. And these things will carry on. If it's carrying on another couple of weeks, that will bring other crimes. So that's why, in order to prevent from these crimes, if we can practice at least of these soundly 5 precepts, then we will be able to promote kindness, harmony, and compassion, truthfulness and respect within one another, building this unity in a connection in one another. And today, I would like to express that in this situation, it is inevitable that everyone's mind everyone will be facing different types of emotional thoughts, different feelings. There will be a fear, resistance, anger, misunderstanding, confuse. So in those situations, if our mind is not clear, if our mind is not stable, not trained, these emotions will take control, so-called a negative mind. When the negative mind takes control, then we will lose the precepts. we forget of being mindful of all the actions that we do, whether it is speaking or whether it is talking, whether it is physically doing. So mind will be working so hard. So the Buddha said that mind is the forerunner. When our mind is occupied or led by a negative thoughts, it brings chaos. It brings trouble. So the second principle or second thing that Buddhism has to offer to us in this crisis is the mental training, so-called Samādhi. Developing the mental training. When we practice meditation, we will be able to note these different types of thoughts, these different types of emotions and feelings that arises. Whether we are staying at home alone or whether we are staying with family, we are consuming day and night the news about this coronavirus and also the different measures that the government has imposed. And there are plenty of other people that dislike it and try to find excuses and even find the faults on these measures. And with this, when mind is clouded, that even generates more negativities. So that's why in our mind, when we look at in general, there are two types of the mind. One is a negative mind and a positive mind. And in this crisis, in this pandemic situation, if you look at it carefully, watch it mindfully, what we can see that there are a lot of negative minds lurking in. And the practice of a meditation is simply to know these minds, ability to recognize them, and dealing with that. When negative mind arises, we are able to know that. And rather than reacting to it, simply responding that, yes, I'm having this. Otherwise, if we are reacting to it, even a small issue become a bigger issue. Tiny bit of a story is built up in a family as you are staying together, then that will become a big issue. The Buddha compared it like open sore. An untrained mind, whenever something says or something happens unwanted or unpleasant, not happened as he wished, or not somebody hasn't done as he thought. And with this, so much anger, so much irritation generates. Like the shore, which is calm and peace, as soon as the wind comes and it creates the big waves that can destroy even the big ships. So this is the mind which is not trained. And when this mind is like this, in this time of this crisis, everyone is so anxious and uncertain situation. Nobody knows what's going to be, their job, their future, and the people. And everything, every time when we hear news or when some things happen in a family or somebody is far away doing something, then that generates more anger, irritation, and disturbed. So we won't be able to make a right decision. When we won't be able to make a right decision, the situation will get worse. The situation will get bad. So that's why in my previous videos, previous nights, one of the nights, I mentioned that we need to be mindful what we think, what we do, and mindful of all the feelings and emotional thoughts. With that, what we are doing is we are creating our home as a heaven rather than a hell. So it's up to us in our hand to make this home into heaven or a hell. And that we can do simply by aware of these mental thoughts, mindset. So that's why practice of a meditation is one way to deal with these emotional states of our mind in this crisis. And I think it's very, very important. And even if you're on Facebook, social media, you can see at this time that there are plenty of courses on meditation going on. There are plenty of organizations that are running meditation courses. Even the government officials, government departments are also introducing these mindfulness courses. All the religious groups also introducing a mindful meditation. And that is simply because of this confined isolation that we are living. It generates quite a bit of stress, quite a bit of mental instability. And that simply generates more fear, more trouble, more confuse, and more doubts. And that generates anger, jealousy, ill will. So, when we practice meditation, we simply be able to know those things. Ability to understand those things is taking place. And if you are practicing regularly, what happens is, as soon as these things arises in your heart or in your mind, there will be a chemical change takes place in your body, one way or another. And this is the technique to recognize that now I'm having the emotional changes in me. And that is simply knowing, understanding, and watching how it generates. And in a practice, watching alone doesn't work. We have to see it clearly in its true nature, so-called ability to comprehend it clearly with our own experience. Comprehensive understanding of those emotional thoughts as it arises, then we will be able to let it be. And we will be able to understand that the mind which was so angry, so negative, and as soon as we become able to mindful of it, an ability to comprehend it in its true nature, we feel so lighter, so calm. Whereas when we have those negative thoughts, we feel heavy, we feel tight. Everything becomes bad. And whereas when we know how to deal with that, then we feel lighter. Everything becomes green. Everything becomes so bright, so good. So it's not about what is happening or what is going on. It's a matter of how we deal with it. So practice of a meditation is to deal with that situation, that moment. So that's why in this time of this crisis, we are having this small place to stay. And then when we are staying in a small place, mind automatically brings those negativities, emotional thoughts, feelings, and these things comes. And then whenever these arises, simply welcoming them, aware of that. And rather than reacting to it, simply responding. I normally call it, when your visitors come welcome them but do not offer a tea. So no comments at all. Just watch and let it be, let go. So this is the second part that Buddhism has to offer to us in this time of this situation. We're all confused. We're all having a different information and different things about it and always having a fear of it. But as soon as we have this mindfulness, we realize that this is about to change. This is one day it's going to change. It's going to be better. All what we have to do at the moment is to spend this time of such a quality time. Nothing to do, nothing to worry, simply observing yourself, mind and a body, and keeping a mind pristine purity, keeping a mind calm, clear, and whatever you do, whatever you think, keeping it pristine, clear. And that you only can do by being able to observe it. It doesn't matter which way you're going to observe. Just observe as they are. And rest will take care of itself. That's why, taking this opportunity, do not waste any moment. Spend some time a day, like every night we have this live talk and then a chanting and then practice of a meditation. You can spare half an hour of these times, whether it is for the talk, or whether it is for the chanting time, or whether it is for the meditation time. Spare your time and then developing this spiritual refuge. Spiritual refuge that will comfort you here in this moment, and then that also will connect to build the harmony, ability to make any judgments with clear and concise. And this refuge, again, spiritual refuge that we are developing, that also will comfort us in the future and next lives. So spare this time and come and learn together, practice together. So this is the second thing that I would say that Buddhism has to offer to us to keep ourselves clean, keep ourselves bright, an ability to deal with this situation that we all are facing. We all are affected. So we become an actor who is functioning properly, not functioning due to any emotions, but with a clear conscience. We are working together to build up this harmony, to build up this connection, and then making sure that everything is every decisions made on a basis of a clear understanding. And that only can be done through the clear mind. So the second part, this is developing the mental training. When we have a clear mind, everything will be solved. If there is a negative mind, ability to know that, rather than reacting, simply responding, and then developing the positive mind. Through looking out how fortunate we are compared to so many other people. And then with that, we're generating compassion towards them, an ability to make a judgment and make decisions to whether we can help them one way or another. So building this connection and being a compassionate towards one another. So I offer this as a 2 nights reflection, and there is another one more which I will speak tomorrow, what Buddhism has to offer during this time. And this simply, I developed these topics because one of the members asked me that what Buddhism has to offer in this pandemic situation. So I divided it into 3 parts, which is the first one is the Sila. When we practice the Sila, that will help to bring the harmony. And the second is the Samādhi, which when we practice, it purifies our mind and ability to make right decisions for ourselves and then to others. And then tomorrow I will touch the third one, what Buddhism has to offer in this crisis. And with this, I also again remind you that during this time of the pandemic, lockdown and isolation, during the whole day, spare this time, if you can, for 1.5 hours. If not, at least spare this moment of the half an hour, 6:30, or the chanting 7 to 7:30, or meditation together at 7:30 to the 8 o'clock. Just come together and practice together, building in connection spiritually, developing our own spiritual journey as well as the members of the public together. And with this, we hope that we can cure and get out of this pandemic situation. So with this, in a few minutes time, we will have evening chanting. If you would like to join, continue listening, you may do so. Otherwise, you can come back again at 7:30 for the meditation. And again, I would like to encourage you that not only practicing during this half an hour time, but take the meditation with you, and then be aware of every action that you do, whether physical, whether it is verbal, or whether it is thinking. That will bring more happiness and clear mind. So with this, again at the end, if you have any questions, you can post to me and will try my best to reply you. And then the second, let's come together at least 7:30 to meditate together. May you be happy, peaceful, and may you have a clear mind, free from suffering. May the Buddha bless you. Good night.